What's up, fellow sloths? Happy International Sloth Day. And by sloth, I mean the cute mammal that moves really, really slow, not just lazy people. What's up, nerds? It's your boy, the OGGM. It's 9 o'clock in the morning. It's the 20th day of October, 2022. It's about 75 degrees and muggy here at Site B because we're having a flashback summer, I guess. Ugh, weather. All right, so as you know, this was hinted at earlier this month, but now it's official. Former leader of the D&D team, Ray Winiger, has announced his official departure from Wizards of the Coast, having, quote-unquote, accomplished the ambitious goals we set. He has been replaced by former Microsoft COO Dan Rawson, who is now the new head of D&D. So what exactly was Ray Winiger's job as head of D&D? Well, he was responsible for a lot of projects. Like, if there's somebody who's technically above Jeremy Crawford and Chris Perkins, it was this guy. This guy was the head of D&D. I mean, you don't hear his name as much as you hear Crawford and Perkins' names or some of the other names associated with D&D, but above them all was this guy, apparently. I don't know what that means. What does the head of D&D mean? But it's a thing, and he was it. And so everything that has happened D&D-wise since whenever he started working for them a few years back till now could indirectly paper trail lead all the way to him. So if you want to, play who do we blame? Well, I blame Chris Perkins. And then Chris Perkins would go, no, I blame Jeremy Crawford. And then Jeremy Crawford would go, well, the buck normally stops with me, but no, I can blame Ray Winiger. Shit rolls uphill in corporate America, so as more and more negative press is being directed by Wizards of the Coast, the blame cannon is slowly working its way up the pecking order. And who's at the top of the pecking order? Ray Winiger. And now all of a sudden, after so much Wizards of the Coast success over the past couple of years, this guy is suddenly like, well, I've accomplished all my goals, so I'm stepping down to be replaced by a brand new head of D&D, Dan Rawson. Now, what is Dan Rawson's claim to fame other than being a former Microsoft COO, CEO, head of Microsoft multiple divisions, and making a lot of money for Microsoft and understanding how a big, gigantic corporation like Microsoft works? What has Dan Rawson done other than that? What is his association with D&D? Well, if you look him up on the interweb, there's very little. Dan Rawson has managed to avoid controversy for most of his time as a Microsoft COO. If you look up Dan Rawson, internet, nothing. Very little. Just, it's all corporate stuff and numbers and quarterly 3 earnings and Microsoft points and big words that people smarter than me understand, but I don't. But what it means in a small term in regards to Hasbro is possibly, I can't say for 100% sure, but I'm basing this on guesswork. Ray represents D&D up to now. He's the head of the pyramid. He's the guy Crawford goes to get the okay to make statements like nothing before 2014 is canon or create creatures like racist space monkeys. He's the guy that eventually had to deal with the repercussions of racist space monkeys or the fact that D&D sales are dropping. So perhaps the reason why Ray has been replaced by Dan is a changing of the guard. Hasbro seeing, we need to shake things up. We're going, here's a new guy who is more in tune with corporate thought as opposed to Twitter outrage thought. And long term, we're a corporation. And our job is to avoid politics, make money. Let's face it, Wizards of the Coast, you've been pissing a lot of people off. And if we have to blame somebody, we're going to blame Crawford. And who's Crawford going to blame? Crawford's going to blame his boss. So that's Ray. So that's one possible theory why Ray has departed. The other possible theory is Hasbro is taking D&D into the digital environment. We know that. They've purchased D&D Beyond. They've got their fingers in the Unreal Engine. They're working on new Unreal Engine-based D&D themed games. The D&D VTT that's supposed to be coming out that will talk directly to D&D Beyond. It won't. We all know it won't. They're taking D&D digital product, digital landscape, digital material, digital production. So they need somebody who understands how that world works. And that's somebody like Dan Rawson, a former Microsoft guy. He understands the evolution of media as it transcends from physical into digital. Ooh, big words, OGGM. Your brain must be firing on all cylinders today. Don't get too excited. I'm sure I'm going to make a mistake. Again, I have no facts. I am spitballing. This is hypothetical. This is okay. What, based upon my knowledge of how the industry works, why this change? Or maybe, I'm completely not wrong. And Ray is just like, you know what? I'm 40 something years old. I've been doing this for a while. It's exhausting. I got money. I want to do something else with my life. I want to take a step back. I want to enjoy the fruits of my labors. Let's call the devil its due. Wizards of the Coast has made a ton of money over the past 5 years. A lot of that money is in Ray's pocket. So maybe this has nothing to do with anything other than Ray just going, I need a break from you losers. I'm going to take my millions and go home. And that could be it. And you know what, Ray? Politics be damned. If you've earned it, you deserve it. Enjoy the break. Good luck with your future endeavors. So, whatever. Congratulations to Dan Rawson as the new head of D&D. Again, I don't know what that means. But you're the head of D&D, which, from a blame game, political, corporate point of view, that means you are the top of the D&D pyramid. And if they're going to blame somebody for anything that goes wrong with D&D, like the misspelling of the words in the ad for Dragonlance on D&D Beyond, that blame is going to go to the D&D Beyond ad guy. And the D&D Beyond ad guy is going to blame the guy on top of him. Well, Chris Perkins told me. Chris Perkins is going to go, well, Jeremy Crawford told me. And Crawford's going to go in his creepy little way, well, nothing before 2014 is canon. D&D is problematic, but we don't want it to be problematic. Use your own imagination, but we don't. But you know what Crawford's going to say when Hasbro goes, dude. Crawford's going to go, Dan Rawson said this was okay. Because that's how it works. Shit rolls uphill in corporate America. Shit rolls uphill in industry America. The blame game is going to go uphill, and the top of that hill is the new head of D&D, digital guru, Dan Rawson. So, since we know there's going to be inevitable slack on the upcoming Dragonlance, that's the guy who's going to end up finally having to face the music from Hasbro. So, yeah, congratulations, Dan. What a perfect time to come in and take this new job. You get to take the trash fire that is currently Wizards of the Coast and try and direct it positively into the future, try and repair the tons of damage Wizards of the Coast has caused among its fan base, and harmlessly and most efficiently translate D&D from a physical entity to a digital entity. All things I know nothing about other than the fact that I worked in the industry for 16 years. And I may not understand numbers and letters and all this other stuff, but I understand the industry. And I understand how the entertainment corporate industry works. So based upon my experience, that is my hypothesis. But again, I could be wrong. It could be completely wrong. I mean, the fact that Hasbro is taking D&D into the digital market obviously is a large percentage as to why Dan Rawson is the new head of D&D. But as for any other reasons, we can point fingers at Ray and go, this is all your fault, blah, blah, blah. But at the end of the day, we'll never know for sure. We'll never know for sure. We don't know the truth. We know our perceived truth. And, I'm not angry, dude. At the end of the day, your job was to make Hasbro money. And you guys did what you had to do to make Hasbro money. Now, we can argue to the end of time that the way they did it was utterly stupid, but they did what they had to do. So, dude, if you've got your millions in your pocket and you're happy, Ray, God bless you. Good on you. Lord knows I would have sold out if I had a chance. I would have pocketed a couple millions and gone, oh no, people are angry at me. Oh no, I just bought a new house for my family and made sure my kids and grandkids will be taken care of with the multi-million dollars I made. Hmm. 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 Oh no, I'm crying that you're upset because of the choices we made. I mean, that's what I do, but then we know I'm a sellout. Anyways, that's it. I don't know what else to think about this. Just thought I'd share it with you, and this was way longer than I thought it would be. Have I, in any way, shape, or form, educated you on the functions of corporate entertainment industry America, or as you confused it ever, and you're still like, God damn you, Wizards of the Coast? Anyways, I am the OGGM, the king of scrub DMs, the West Coast grognard, the filthy Wizards of the Coast apologist, the professional idiot, asking you to let me know what you think. And if you're feeling generous, why don't you, reach out and subscribe to the OGGM. Help me buy a better camera. Help me feed these cats. Help me buy D&D products so I can review it. Till next time, have a great day. Happy holidays. Stay safe. Stay off my land. See ya.